Hi, I'm Rob Seltzer, the Aortic Chef.
And I'm Mindy Seltzer, the aortic dietitian, and welcome to May 1st.
And the Aortic Kitchen. Yes, we are here. We're going to celebrate Mother's Day this episode, and we've got a special menu that's really kind of simple for everybody because we don't want to have to work too hard. But I think it will appeal to a lot of the mothers, and whether you do it as a brunch or as a lunch or as dinner, this can work all three ways. So we got three courses for you today. The first one's going to be broiled grapefruit. It's an old recipe that was created at a restaurant, Chalet Suzanne in Florida. It was a fly-in restaurant. They have their own airstrip.
In the grape field.
Yes.
Grapefruit field.
Right in the middle of citrus country in Florida. And then I'm going to make a stuffed pork tenderloin with a fruit stuffing, apricots, cherries, blueberries, cranberries and such, and roast that.
You cannot have Mother's Day without chocolate.
I know. So what are we doing for dessert? We're going to make real simple, delicious, elegant chocolate dessert that everybody likes. We're going to make chocolate truffles. Simple. That's a 2-ingredient dessert. And I'm making low-fat chocolate truffles because typically truffles, there's butter and cream, heavy cream and all that stuff, but fixing that up so we don't have to, it's good for us, but they're still just as delicious. Okay. So with that, let me start and we'll get going here. If you'll.
I will move. Excuse me, sir.
Okay. So for our chocolate truffles, we really only need two ingredients. I have chocolates. These are dark chocolate chips, and they are 60% dark, 60% cocoa. They're a generic store brand, but they're very good, delicious. That's all you need to know. You want baking chocolate. You don't want it like a Hershey bar or something. You need something that you can actually cook with. So chips are fine, or if you can find some other professional. So this is I'm making a half batch. This is 4 ounces of chocolate. I've got 2 ounces, and I'm using evaporated milk. Okay, like we always do on this program, rather than cream, because evaporation, raises that fat content, so it is more like it. Now, we only have to heat the milk to not real hot. Chocolate melts at about 90 degrees. So we don't want to boil the milk, but we want it hot. We're going to pour the milk over. I'm going to run it for about 20 seconds and check it. And then pour it over the chocolate and we cover it, let it sit for a few minutes, mix it up, and then it's got to sit for about 3 or 4 hours. So while that's cooling and so on, I'm going to let Mindy do her thing with the grapefruit. See how it is. Ooh, I see steam. So I think I'm pretty much there. All right. Now, when you pour on your milk, we just want to make sure that it gets evenly distributed on the chips. You don't want to do anything. You just want to get the milk in there. We'll give it a little shake just to make sure that all the chocolate is in the milk. Okay. But don't disturb it after that. Leave it. I'm going to cover it with my handy dandy silicone cover, so we don't use plastic anymore. Reusable, good for the environment. And they're also heat safe, so we can put them in the mic, you can even put them in the oven. So let this sit for 5 minutes. I'll set a timer so I don't forget. Okay, and away we go. See how simple that was? You want to do some grapefruit, Mindy?
I'll do some grapefruit.
We are going to fly today, guys. This is going to be amazing.
We're going to talk a little bit about grapefruit. First thing, I love grapefruit, but I'm on a statin, and I get very concerned. Is it going to hurt me? I'm not allowed to take my medications with grapefruit juice or fresh grapefruit. First thing you do is ask your doctor if you can do it. In reality, what happens is the grapefruit allows the statin to stay in your liver longer and work harder, more effectively. So sometimes people will get leg cramps. It depends on what statin you're on. Talk to your physician. I'm not telling you most of the studies that they've done, the person has drunk a quart of grapefruit juice. If you do it occasionally, it's probably not going to hurt you.
And what about timing?
I usually suggest if you're going to at least 4 hours from the time you eat your grapefruit to when you take your statin. There's no written documentation that says that. It just be on the safe side. If you eat a piece of grapefruit for breakfast, don't eat it every morning for breakfast.
And when's the best time to take a statin?
The best time to take a statin is at night after 9 o'clock, after you're done eating, before you go to bed.
Okay.
So that allows it to work when there's nothing else in your system, i.e., like I said, with grapefruit, it's going to be more effective holding the statin in your system if you had grapefruit.
What are you doing with that grapefruit?
What am I doing with this grapefruit? Well, the first thing I did was cut it in half. And then, because I'm broiling it, I'm going to turn it and it's going to leak a little bit, but I sliced off the bottom so it would be level. Then I took the knife and I'm going to go through each section, just coming towards the center to separate all the sections so you can scoop it up. All lovely. Then I'm going to take the knife and I'm going to cut around the outside and really try hard not to go to the bottom. If you notice, this one was a really big grapefruit. I had a hard time making it even. It's okay. Now, Chalet Suzanne, as Rob said, we were there once. It closed in 1993 or something, because we went there.
Mm-hmm. Early, but
Early
90s it closed.
Early 90s it closed. And they were famous. The difference that they did with their broiled grapefruit, it was an appetizer, and they served it with a chicken liver in the center. Why a chicken liver? I could not tell you, but that was their appetizer. Since we're not supposed to eat too much liver, I won't be using a chicken liver today. Okay, so now they're sectioned. Person's going to have to pull a little bit to get it out, but that's fine. The next step, pretty easy. I have brown sugar and cinnamon. Okay, all mixed together. Their recipe had lots of butter in it. No, we don't need it. So I'm going to stir this up. And I'm going to sprinkle it on top. Try to get it evenly dispersed among all the pieces.
You get the recipe that for those 2 grapefruits, there's 2 tablespoons of brown sugar and a teaspoon of cinnamon. But you'll see the recipe online, which I will post either later tonight or tomorrow morning, as always.
Okay. Now, one other trivial information, when I was in college, which is eons ago, Rob never believed me until we started cleaning out our paperwork in the house. But people that used artificial sweeteners, not stevia, it was called
But aspartame, you don't know?
aspartame. It wasn't called aspartame.
Equal.
It was called sequel because Cyril Labs is the one that invented it. And it was supposed to be added in a 10% solution with other sweeteners. Well, they did the old mouse trick and ran it through lots of mice, and the mice didn't get cancer. And it was pure aspartame. So the GRASS Act allowed them to use it full time. And we know that people have certain diseases cannot eat it. Well, the reason I'm telling you all this is it originated in the rind of the grapefruit, is where they got the sweetness from initially, and then broke it down, which I thought was, okay, a little strange, but I had paperwork on it and I did some of the research on it, so I guess it's right. Okay. So after we're done making a mess of our grapefruit, I think I'll wait till the end.
Yes.
Our recipe says grape. We don't have any grapes, so in the end, it's going to be a cherry. And I'm going to set it aside. So when Rob puts his entree in the oven, I will put the grapefruits in and pull them out before his is done.
Right. Sure. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I need to get this going here. Our chocolate should be nicely melted. Now you'll find this very soft. And what you want to do is you're going to stir it one direction only. So clockwise, because what we're going to do is we're going to temper the chocolate. And when you do that, when you're tempering, you create these long chains of fat inside the chocolate with the cocoa butter. And that makes it really shiny and nice. But if you do it different directions, you're breaking up the chains. So just going to, and it starts a little tough. Okay. But it will melt as I go here. It takes about maybe 2 minutes. It looks ugly. And then all of a sudden it's going to all come together. And we just keep stirring. You know, this is kind of a cheat. I mean, it's not what a professional chocolatier would do with their chocolate, but this does work. I think my milk could have been a little bit hotter. I didn't temp it. I checked, you know, I went with my finger touch. The outside of that container was very hot, but it's sticking a little bit. Well, we'll get there though.
And would you like me to stir it while you start the next?
You can.
Okay.
Almost there though. Hold on. Yep, this is starting to change now. And if it does mess up, I mean, you can always put it in the microwave for 5 seconds, and you know, give it a little bit of heat to help it melt a little bit. So we're getting there, but it's pretty cold. So I am going to have to resort to the quick little mic. All right. And I'll show you this does work because we have another bowl all ready to go. Because after this is done, this will, it's got to go in the refrigerator for at least 3 to 4 hours. Go a few seconds. Ah, look at that. See? And when you temper, that's kind of what they do is when they temper professionally, they take chocolate until it melts to up in that 95, 100 degrees. Then they let it cool again. Then they raise the temperature again. And that helps with that tempering. Now, hopefully you can see. Am I in a good position there, Director Josh?
Which hand?
You are. That looks very good.
Yeah, see, and now if you can see that now, it's starting to get really shiny as it all comes together into one solid, you know, one simple mass of chocolate. But keep going. There's a couple of lumps in here. Got to keep working those out because I don't want any chocolate chips in my chocolate truffles. They need to be
If you
smoother.
overheat it, the chocolate turns almost like starchy
You'll burn it. It will just actually burn.
and
So
get dry and flaky.
not a whole lot you can do. So see this? So now, see how pretty that is? So we're at that point. We've created a nice tempered chocolate. So I'm just going to put it all there. Want to lick the fork?
Of course.
Of course. Of course she does. Turn down dark chocolate.
Dark chocolate. I've never.
All the health benefits of dark chocolate, right?
Yeah,
Almost
it tastes good.
Yeah, it tastes good. Okay, there we go. So this is going in the fridge. Okay. And just so you know, so when we take it out, this is what it's going to look like. And then we'll make some truffles with that. All right.
And you don't just take it right out of the refrigerator and start making truffles.
Right.
We'll talk about it when we start making it.
Yeah. Josh, was there something?
I was saying, bring that back.
Oh, the chocolate?
Yeah, you flashed it in there a little too fast for me.
Okay.
Mm.
So I took this out about 4 o'clock, 3:30, 4 o'clock. So it's got to, the temperature has got to get soft again because you can't roll your truffles until it's malleable. Okay.
We may have some visitors coming
Yes, we will definitely have
that
some
are
visitors.
going to help make the truffles
Yes, well, afterwards.
afterwards, but
So-
they're bringing the sprinkles.
All right, so I got a lot of things going on here. Stop turning my back real quick. I would like to put on some gloves so I can stay neat and not cross-contaminate. So I've got 2 pork tenderloins because actually the family's coming over again because they know I'm cooking good stuff and I got to make enough for everybody. So typically, I already made one earlier today.
I don't
Um,
eat pork. So
And
what am
Minnie
I
doesn't
doing?
eat pork, so she's actually got salmon in the fridge for dinner that I made her. And my daughter, she doesn't eat pork either. So pork tenderloin, the same as a beef tenderloin. This runs right along the back of the spine, okay, kind of where the aorta is. And it's a very tender piece of meat, small. A pork tenderloin like this is about 1 pound, okay, is the average size. It'll feed, depending on the size of your eaters, it'll feed, 3 to 4 people, okay. This was like an 18-ounce tender. I need a few things here. I need a boning knife. And for now, that's all I need. So when you get a pork tender out of the package, it's going to need a little bit of trimming, not a whole lot, because you see there's this white membrane on here. Now this stuff, you can actually just take your hands and pull it off.
Is that like the beef tenderloin silver?
Well, the silver is underneath here, but
Mm.
there's, yes, this is kind of like our pericardium, that we have that surrounds our heart and all that. But you see, this just pulls off because if you leave it on there, it's not real pleasant to chew. So this just rips right off, really pretty easy, okay, and simple. Then that will expose the silver skin. Now, silver skin, this is the muscle bundling. This is what holds the muscle together. So we're going to have to take that off because that does not break down and it's a little tough. So put in front of you this large end. I want to kind of just peel this open a little bit so I can take this piece off. And you just, if you fish, okay, and you ever take the skin off a fish, you just take your knife back and forth like that. Here with the piece of silver, stick your knife underneath. Don't go the whole thing and pull it out the other side. Turn it around because you don't want to cut towards yourself. Hold on to that. Your knife should be up angled a little bit, not enough to cut through it, okay? But then just back and forth and voila, there it goes. Very little meat on it. So do the same thing, do the other half. Get that knife under there, pull it up, flip it around, and here we go. Okay. Now you want to look, sometimes it's hiding underneath another piece, but that's okay. There really won't be much there. Some little pieces you don't like, little bits of fat are okay. You can always trim those if you want. And otherwise, you see, we're in pretty good shape. So that was really easy, right? No big deal. I am going to take this little piece off here.
Remember, the key thing is if you buy enough for 6 people and 2 more people show up, just make an extra vegetable. You'll have enough for everybody.
Of course. Okay. Now, stuff this. I'm stuffing it, as I mentioned, with fruit, dried fruit that I've rehydrated, apricots, cherries, blueberries, cranberries, maybe a little prune in there. You can use whatever mix you want, honestly. This will be nice and colorful, but we're going to have to open this up. We're going to butterfly it. So you lay it in front of you and just take your knife, and I'm going to slice from end to end, about halfway through. Okay, I can open it and just do it again now. Keep going until it's, you don't want to cut all the way through. You want it to stay whole. So now I can lay it down. Now, if it's really thick like here, you can do that again and lay this other piece open. See how easy that is? I also have a very nice sharp knife. And this is a little bit, not too bad. I do need to open this up over here a little bit, not much. You don't have to, because we are going to pound this out. I keep saying we, I'm going to do this. You're going to do it when you try the recipe. All right, so now I've got a nice open, remember it was nice and small, now it's wide open, okay? So we're going to, what I do recommend.
I'll get it.
Would you please grab the film for me?
I will gladly.
I did not pre.
Yeah. I'm okay.
Okay.
I'm okay.
You just broke the computer, but
No, I didn't.
please tear off.
I will.
Thanks. That's usually my job.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, put a piece of a film wrap over the top. We can plug that back into the socket.
Of course I can.
Yes. Okay, so we don't run out of juice. Okay. All right. Handy dandy meat pounder. You can use, if you don't have a meat pounder, you can use a wine bottle or any bottle with some weight and use that to pound on the meat.
How about a bottom of a pot?
Bottom of a pot, you can do that. A saucepan. Now I'm going to try to increase it by about half. Now here's another question: what if you don't eat pork? So this recipe is easily adaptable to chicken. Get some nice boneless, skinless chicken breast, or do them yourself from that whole chicken, like I showed you the last program, and open them up, butterfly, same exact method, and fill it with the fruit, and just follow the instructions in the recipe exactly the same way, but with chicken, or with even turkey breast, if you would. But so you don't have to do this with pork. But I've never done pork on the program before, so I thought I would give it a try. Okay, do something a little bit different. All right, now this I don't need.
Leave it open.
A knife I don't need. Whatever. Thank you. So I got all my ingredients over here. We're going to got some olive oil, which I'm going to spray the meat a little bit. It's very, very lean, so it needs a little fat. Don't you love my little device here? Really controls how much oil I put on things.
Let me wash it, please.
Okay, I'm going to use it
Thank you.
again. I have some no salt lemon pepper. Okay. And we're going to I'm going to sprinkle that all over. This is nice. It's a salt-free product. This is one of the ones that has potassium chloride in it instead of sodium chloride. So it is safe, but if you do have kidney issues, you probably want to check your potassium intake
With the physician. Always check with your physician.
Yes. I think it needs a little bit more pepper, so I'm going to hit it with a little pepper. Okay, very nice. Very, very nice. And I have a nice herb blend. This is rosemary, thyme, and sage. So just
No
sprinkle.
parsley?
No.
Oh,
Oh yeah, I almost had the whole song, didn't I? You can
did.
start singing for us.
no, thank you.
Okay, so lightly
I like you guys.
season that with our herbs. And I'll have some fresh garlic. Which I'm going to sprinkle all around. Got to have garlic, right? Always good. Never too much garlic.
What if I don't like garlic?
Don't use it.
What can I use in place of it?
Whatever you want. You can use some onion, shallot, or just leave it out. Okay, don't need it for those of you that don't like or eat garlic. And I know we have some members here that do not do the garlic.
They're actually allergic to it.
Okay, next thing. Now this is the surprising part. I am going to spread some applesauce on this for a little bit of sweet, a little bit of moisture. I've got about a couple tablespoons of applesauce here. And just kind of just spread it. Remember, we're going to roll it up, so it's going to even out as I roll it up. Just kind of get it around everywhere. All right. Got that nice layer there. We got lots of different layers of flavor happening, which is what we need to do. Layers and layers of flavor. Okay, next. Now comes our fruit. I'm going to turn this for myself. Actually, here, let's do it this way. Okay. Now, like I said, I have fruit here that I rehydrated. I put hot water on it earlier and let it sit for a while. So I have apricots, I'm a little bit off center on this on purpose because I'm going to roll it that way. And I want to be able to, get it all wrapped up together.
I know you're making it really pretty. What if I'm not a sweet person?
What do you mean?
I don't like fruit with my meats.
Well, pork lends itself really well, like venison as well. But well, you can take this. You could use spinach and ricotta cheese, just spinach and feta. You could do really almost anything that you like. Sun-dried tomatoes, and again, spinach or basil, make it on the Italian side with the ricotta and so on. So here's my blend of blueberries and uh, cherries and cranberries, craisins.
He's also putting a lot of antioxidants in it with
Yeah.
using the blueberries and the raisins.
Mm-hmm. Really good stuff. Okay. Won't have to use all of it. I usually put a little bit too much. We're going to make a sauce in the end. I can always throw the extra fruit into the sauce to complement it. Okay. Now, next easy part, I will need this again, so I'm going to leave that, is I'm going to roll it. Okay. So take this side, fold it over, kind of bring it back in a little bit, right? And roll it again. And don't worry if stuff comes out, just don't worry about it. Especially the applesauce, the inside filling. If some of that comes out, you can just take it like this and rub it on the outside because we're going to season the outside again anyways. So here we go. I've got a nice folded round, looks just like it was before I cut it up. Now, here comes the good part. We're going to have to tie it. Now, I showed you how to tie stuff before. I've got about 2 arms length here, okay? I'm gonna do this a little bit differently. The last time I did one, I just did individual knots and stuff. It's really not the best way to do it. Roll it under, make yourself a slip knot, okay?
Those that go fishing should know how to make a slip knot.
Yeah. So we can wrap it around the string, bring the line through, pull it tight, and I've got a slip knot. See that? And I'm going to pull it tight. Okay. Now here comes the not so tricky part. Take your right hand, fold the string under. See that? Remember you used to play cat's cradle? Put it over the end, bring it in, pull it tight. Not too tight, but we want it tight enough to hold everything together, to keep it shaped. That's the whole point. Now do that again. Okay. And I'm going to keep doing that all the way down. Okay. Okay. A couple more. Okay. I need one more down here. This little end piece is not holding together well. Okay. So now, no, we're not going to cut it yet, Mindy.
Okay.
I'm going to turn it over. And I want to, you don't have to do this, but it really makes a much nicer roast. You can put it under and around, kind of sew it together. So I'm going to go to the far side, bring it towards me.
You really wanted to be a seamstress.
Yeah. And just keep doing that. This really only takes a few seconds. It's not that big a deal. It's pretty easy. And this holds the whole thing together as it cooks and keeps the shape. And so we'll have a nice, beautiful stuffed roast when we're done. Okay. Come down to this end. And back to the beginning. Here we go. See if I can get there. Okay. Now I'm going to do it again and make a little knot. Now we can cut. Thank you. Rest of the rope. And we're good. So we have a lovely little roast there. I don't need the knife anymore. A couple more things we're going to do. So you see how that looks. I want to glaze this. I want to have beautiful color and flavor. And this is where some of that savories would come too. I'm going to use, take my gloves off. I have a garbage can right here. I'm going to use pomegranate paste. Okay, so basically, or pomegranate molasses, they call this. It is a reduction of pomegranate juice until it gets really thick and syrupy. So I just want to put, I think the recipe calls for a couple tablespoons. Put some on there. Gonna brush it all around. Okay. Do a nice coating on there. Or over here. There. Oop. I'm going to roll this baby over. Let's get the other side. There we go. Okay. Lovely. All nice and coated. Beautiful little piece of meat here. And I'm going to use up the rest of my seasonings that I had. A little more pepper on it. Hold on, don't take anything away.
I was just gonna vote for you.
Nope, not yet. I'll just do one side. A little more of the lemon pepper. Okay, now I can roll it back over. Same thing. You always got to season. And layers of seasoning. That's how we get flavor without salt, is by layering our flavors. So you're repetitive with it, so it's everywhere. And if I have any of those little herbs left, yeah, no need to waste those last couple of pinches. Put some of those on the outside too. Okay, save some for my sauce. Okay, so this is going to come to the side. Now we're done with this and this. And okay, I will take my stove. Next thing we do with this is we're going to brown it, the roast. Okay, thank you. Put some set of places here. Mm-hmm. The butane stoves are very hot. You've seen me work with these before. I am going to get this pan a little preheated. So we're going to sear it, deglaze, throw it in the oven. This whole process should take about not even 10 minutes, okay? Because it only cooks in the oven for about 10 minutes. Thank you. Now this little handy dandy thing also has a lid, so if I wanted to just pour, I could pour. You can buy these at your favorite online retailer, okay? And I do have a second one here.
While you're doing that, I'm
That I
gonna
made
slip the
earlier.
grapefruit in the oven.
You're gonna get behind me and slip the grapefruit in the oven?
I am.
Okay. Oh,
This
okay.
is the appetizer.
All right. Okay, folks, Mindy wants to do something. I'm gonna get out of her way.
You see, I put the grapefruit and you notice all the brown sugar is seeping into,
Mhm.
seeping in and absorbing some of the grapefruit juice.
I'll switch it to board.
No, not
Not yet.
Not
Okay.
yet.
All right. She's gonna pre-bake them a little bit before she broils them to make sure they're warm all the way through. Okay. We're gonna make some smoke here, so
We just had our fire alarms all checked, so just don't make a fire, please.
okay, thank you. All right, here we go. I'm gonna bring this over here, see if we got. There's that sound. That sizzle that I want. I think I need,
What are you looking for, sir?
right there. Okay, these we're gonna cut in half. Let's, excuse my back, folks. We're gonna throw that in the sink. I'm done with it. We
Let's
want
go
those to
ahead and
sear.
say hi to the chat here. We've got Christina, Tom,
Sure.
Melissa, and Molly. And Christina asks, can you use maple syrup?
Absolutely. Whatever flavor you like. The pomegranate is actually tart. It's a bit on the sour side, so I'm using that to balance out all the fruit, the applesauce, and the sweet fruits. Otherwise, it's going to be a real, sugar bomb. But yes, you can use maple syrup again, and also, you want. I used to do a pork loin at a restaurant I ran in South Bend, Indiana, and it was a pork loin stuffed with pork sausage. Used to take the rope Italian sausage and cut a whole, not the tenders, but the whole pork loins, and then freeze the sausage and grate and stick it through. And then, so yeah, if you want Italian, and you can do that as well. Anything that you like. All right, so just going to turn this. See, we're getting some nice color on it. This is what we want. Pork tenderloins will not take long to cook. Let's say I'm going to get it nice and brown. And for medium rare, medium, not medium rare, I like to eat the pork medium, about 150 degrees, 145, 150. So it's still pink in the center. It is very safe to do that today. Years ago, you always ate your pork well done. If you know where it comes from, pork, hogs used to be fed with garbage, and sometimes it wasn't boiled and clean, and they used to get trichinosis. They would get worms, and then you would get it, and you get tapeworms and such. But that's pretty well controlled now. That doesn't really happen from what I know. And as long as the plants are USDA inspected and the farms and then the plants, are all inspected, everything's right. So it's pretty safe to eat pork at a medium temperature. All right, getting there. Get the other side. And almost there. About 3 minutes, 4 minutes. And
Basically about a minute per side.
trying to keep the hot sauce. My pan's a little small for this, but just the two of us. We did not buy a big giant pan. So there we go. One more turn. Okay, we're looking good. Turn that off. I'm going to add a little, about a half a cup of white wine. Okay, see, that's all nice and hot. And it's going into the oven just like this. And give me a timer. We'll check it in 10. Okay. Now, I do have some side dishes to go with this as well, which I'm going to get going. I don't need this anymore. We will need this.
Are you going to heat the side dish on the?
No, I'm going to put it on the stove right now. I mean, I could do it on here, but
Not?
well, you could start your truffles or anything.
Okay.
What I made was a great typical go along with pork. Is a German style red cabbage, sweet and sour. So it's got, I don't want to use this. I have my spoon right here.
Let's get you to slide the stove there a little bit more toward the camera. Hold on, let me take a look. Right on. Thank you.
Okay, so I made this earlier today. So it's red cabbage and onions and apples. And then it's cooked with vinegar and some orange juice to make it kind of the sweet and sour. It's very traditional. I made this very heavy on the apples rather than what's normally done, and make it a little bit, more appley. I didn't have as much cabbage either.
if someone offers applesauce, we'll eat applesauce with anything.
Yeah, yeah. I like applesauce. So the apples are grated, the red cabbage is shredded, and the onions I also did julienne. You can also dice them, no big deal. So I just need to heat this up is all. So that's gonna go here, and then I'm gonna put it on the front of the stove. It just stays warm, and I am gonna need the stove again to finish the pork,
Okay.
the roast, the sauce. So, okay. Okay. All right,
We're bubbling.
put this back, lid on, ready to rock and roll. Okay. Now I can take this away for now. Just put it right here. You.
Mashed potatoes.
Yeah, we might serve it with some mashed potatoes just because it's easy and simple. What's really interesting, we're all looking for low salt or as little salt as we can. Did you know that instant mashed potatoes,
Read labels.
read the labels, right? As packaged, has only 10 milligrams of sodium in a serving. 10 milligrams. These things is pretty much just straight dehydrated potatoes. And we've been using dehydrated potatoes for years. And I know, make them myself, do all that. Sometimes you don't have time. Sometimes you don't have the energy. Sometimes you just want to do it easy. Okay, me too. And in the industry, I've used these for years, dehydrated potatoes.